These criminals. It's coming out that Bernanke ordered people fired, ordered people to do criminal buys with Bank of America, ordered people to do, I mean, they're a bunch of criminals. Then he lied about it. That's coming out. And I know I'm hyperventilating and frothing because this is the greatest level of tyranny we've ever seen. And I've become so accustomed to it that I've been fighting it the last few months, but mentioning the bill a bit, but then it snuck up on me, and now here it is. And nobody's talking about that. They're talking about Michael Jackson, who I'm going to talk about next hour, and the sickness of society. Bob Chapman, the internationalforecaster.com. The 200-page version we saw on Monday of this bill was bad enough. Total takeover of any facet of society, any business, all carbon to be regulated and taxed by the feds, and much of the carbon trading and carbon tax should be paid to private IMF World Bank consortium. I mean, this is total bondage, total new form of government. Just absolutely, Hitler didn't think of something this bad. Stalin and Mao didn't. This is just off the charts eugenics taking over. Bob Chapman.
Well, you certainly have covered it. I think the attack on the House is where we should go with this right now, and getting those numbers because of the busy signals is important to just rain down on these people, because you do have a section of Democrats there who are still in industrial areas that you might be able to corral. The bill will probably cost about $1 trillion a year in taxes, and will probably lose about 5 million jobs. And how I know that is this has been tried and used in Spain over the last several years. And a report was just written on it. I don't happen to have it in front of me. And Spain said all of the jobs made from energy saving were lost, with the exception of a handful. And they lost millions of jobs because they did that. And this is what the plan that is being voted on was based upon. And as you said, they are throwing in everything but the kitchen sink to add to this bill. I mean, they're adding as the debate goes on. And there will be nobody who has read this bill, because it's impossible. I mean, it hasn't been completed, and they're voting on it. And as you say, Alex, it's a ramrod special.
It is. I'm just speechless. This is a post-industrial world that Club of Rome, Bilderberg have called for. I was poking around a few days ago and found published speeches by David Rockefeller, published by him. I mean, this is direct from their sources, when he was in the 60s, saying how they would have globalization where no nation was self-sufficient, where only the internationalists could control nations by making everyone interdependent, and how they would use environmentalism and global taxation and global regulatory systems to do it. And this is their plan on record. And all these foolish yuppies and people that want to feel good and feel like they're part of a team and the government's good. This has nothing to do with the environment. All the toxic waste dumping continues in the water, all the unchecked genetic engineering, the GMO crops, all the real threats to life on this planet. And it's just a cynical joke on taxing all carbon that's part of the life cycle. Sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, oxygen. And they brag, what idiots we are, that they're laughing that they're going to tax all carbon. I mean, this is unbelievable. And just 2 years ago, I made Endgame, and people would send me emails going, there's no plan for a global tax. There's just global warming laws. Even when Al Gore said it was a global tax. Now they admit it's a tax. But then you tune into C-SPAN, the Democratic congressmen are saying, no, this is going to make jobs. It's a complete lie, Bob.
It certainly is. And, you know, about the same time in the late 60s, in the formation of the Trilateral Commission by David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski, he also said that the way we're going to go about this, and he described what we know today is free trade and globalization. And I read what he had written In fact, I think it appeared in Foreign Affairs, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's where it's from. That son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I have children. I live here. These are criminals, Bob. How are you staying calm?
I guess it's because I have older children, not younger children, but I have.
It's just so, but Bob, to really know we're going into bondage to the disgusting pot-bellied bureaucrats, the control freaks, I mean, it's not even the elites. I'm worried about the elites, but I'm worried about all their minions on power trips because I'm worried that I won't be able to put up with them prodding me and poking me and inspecting me.
Well, I think what it's going to do is, with this passage, if in fact it passed, it's going to, if we don't get the auditing of the Federal Reserve Act 1207, you may as well kiss it all goodbye, and you either get ready to fight in the streets or get out of the country, one or the other.
Yeah, let me just shut up. I interrupted you because I really am upset, folks. But what I'm upset by is everybody cares about Michael Jackson and not America going to a completely engineered society run by a bunch of eugenicists in a managed economy. It's very upset. You were trying to get into Rockefeller and Foreign Affairs, bragging how he was going to shut us down. And, folks, you think the devastation's bad in the economy now? This was just the beginning. Now, our liberty, our economy, our free market is like a fire that's burned down to almost nothing, that's about to go out, but we could rekindle it. Rockefeller and the New World Order, this carbon tax is nothing but a wet blanket over it, ensuring a sterile environment where we're economically destitute so they can have their way with us. It's financial change. Explain to people what's happening, Bob.
Well, it's hard to, in as much as you've covered so much of it. And it is what you say it is. And it'll probably grow from there. I mean, they've already ripped probably 80% of our industrial capacity out of the heart of the country, and now they're following up with a carbon tax. And you heard the man on the floor, one of the representatives, I forget his name, he was talking taxes of between 50 and 100% on all the things that we buy and we use. Now, if they were to get, this is another dimension of this. If they were to get this health bill passed, that would add another 20% because they want to put in a VAT.
And it'll go up from there. They're just saying 20% to begin with. I mean, exactly. They're bum rushing us, Bob.
Well, if you add 20 and let's say another 10, and you're already in for 35, you're in for 65% taxation. I mean, I'm talking about the little guys who are in the 22% tax bracket. I mean, yeah. if you're making good money, you and your wife, and you're in, say, the 32% federal tax bracket, and then you add the state, if you do have that, most states do, and then add these two taxes, and you're probably up to 75%. There's an old adage in history, once a country pays, its citizens pay more than 50% in taxation, it's right for revolution.
Well, take the OECD, the private banking consortium, for those that don't know, that did the Marshall Plan. They have stated they want world taxes at above 80%. 87%, they say, is their final goal. This is all on record. And you look at this, for somebody in a 40% tax rate, they're going to be right up at 80, Bob. But then all the real money is all offshore and allowed to not even pay any taxes.
That's right. Special set of rules for them.
Bastards. Folks, if you know, it's just, everybody, I want you to commit to defeat these people. Bob, let's come back and break down as an economist with the internationalforecaster.com, as a historian. Well, where you see all this going, my God. Then I'm going to get into the Federal Reserve. Stay with us.